Everything in this universe is connected. Nothing stands apart. Nothing lives in isolation. The moment we understand this law, the door to abundance swings wide open. Life is not scattered, nor is it random. It is a divine tapestry, woven with threads of thought, word, and action. What you think is linked to what you see, what you speak is joined to what you receive, and what you feel is connected to what unfolds. The invisible cords of energy bind us to the very experiences we draw into our lives. When a thought of fear is released, it goes forth to meet its likeness and returns with limitation. But when a thought of faith is spoken, it travels into the great current of supply and brings back multiplied good. Every seed of the mind finds its soil, and every word is a key that unlocks its door. Abundance is not something you chase, it is already yours. Lack only appears when you cut the connection between yourself and the divine flow. Imagine the river that always runs, whether you draw from it or not. The moment you align your thoughts and words with truth, you dip your vessel into that river, and it comes back filled to the brim. Words are golden links. Every time you declare, "I am prosperous, I am supplied, I am guided," you forge a chain of connection to abundance itself. But when you speak of want, you bind yourself to want. The law does not fail, it simply obeys. It gives you not what you desire, but what you connect yourself with through thought, feeling, and speech. Harmony itself is prosperity. When your mind, heart, and spirit are aligned with peace, order, and faith, abundance appears naturally. Opportunities open, doors swing wide, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Nothing in your life is by accident. What the world calls coincidence is only the perfect arrangement of connections seen by those who understand the law. Gratitude strengthens these invisible ties. When you give thanks for what you have, even the smallest blessing, you pull in greater blessings, for gratitude is a magnet to abundance. Faith, too, is a bridge. It connects the unseen with the seen, the spiritual with the material. With faith, you walk across the invisible and step into manifestation. And so, the greatest truth of all, you are never separate. You are one with the whole, one with supply, one with abundance. The moment you live in this oneness, struggle dissolves, fear vanishes, and life becomes a current that carries you into every good thing prepared for you. Everything is connected. This is the law, and this law, when understood and practiced, unlocks the treasure house of abundance without end. Everything in life is bound together by a divine law of connection. There is no separation between the seen and the unseen, the inner and the outer, the thought and the thing. What you think today is already reaching out to shape tomorrow, for every idea sets in motion a chain of events. You may look at a flower in bloom and think it stands alone, but it could not exist without the soil beneath it, the sunlight above it, the rain that nourished it, and the unseen roots holding it firm. In the same way, no event in your life happens by itself. Every condition you meet is connected to a thought you held, a word you spoke, or a belief you carried within. This is why nothing can truly be called chance. The law of connection is at work at all times, linking cause with effect, linking your inner state with your outer world. The moment you awaken to this truth, you no longer feel like a leaf blown by the wind. You realize you are part of the design, and through your thoughts and words, you are shaping the very pattern of your experience. There are invisible threads of energy that run through every moment, every encounter, every circumstance of life. Though unseen by the eye, they are powerful currents that carry the vibrations of your thoughts and emotions outward into the universe. When you think a thought of love, it does not remain locked within your mind. It travels, connects, and creates harmony that returns to you multiplied. When you dwell on fear, anger, or doubt, those too are sent forth, and they gather experiences of their own kind to bring back into your life. Just as ripples spread across a pond when a stone is cast into the water, so too do your inner states create ripples in the great ocean of life. Nothing you feel is ever wasted. Nothing you send out fails to return. These threads are the unseen messengers, faithfully carrying your message into the world, and faithfully delivering back to you the harvest of what you sowed. This is why it is so vital to guard the quality of your thoughts, for the law of connection ensures that whatever is sent forth will find its way back. Every thought you hold is like a seed, and no seed remains barren. It must find its soil, it must grow, and it must bear fruit. The universe never loses a single impression impressed upon the mind. When you dwell on an idea of success, that thought reaches out, drawing to itself opportunities, people, and conditions that match its nature. If you hold to fear or doubt, those too must grow, bringing forth experiences of delay or disappointment. The law is exact: what you plant in the unseen garden of your mind will blossom in the seen garden of your life. A farmer does not plant thorns expecting roses, nor can you plant thoughts of lack and expect abundance to bloom. Every idea has within it the power of its own fulfillment, and when you persist in thoughts of good, of prosperity, of health, you water the seeds of abundance, and they cannot fail to sprout. The conditions of your life are not accidents, but harvests, fruits of yesterday's thinking. And the good news is that today, in this very moment, you can choose to plant anew. Abundance is the natural order of life, the original state in which everything was created. Look at nature, and you will see this truth written everywhere. The trees do not struggle to produce leaves. The rivers do not strain to keep flowing. The sun does not worry about shining. Everything gives freely. Everything multiplies. Everything overflows. Lack is not part of the divine design. It is only the result of disconnecting from the flow that is always present. When the mind is filled with fear, worry, or limitation, it is as if a dam is placed across the river, and the current of supply cannot reach you. Yet the river itself never dries up. It still rushes with endless provision. The moment you release fear and reconnect through faith, gratitude, and right words, the flow returns, often with greater force than before. Abundance is not something you must earn, chase, or beg for. It is already yours by divine inheritance. When you live in harmony with this truth, you find that supply appears without strain, opportunities open naturally, and what you need arrives at the perfect time. Words are living forces, golden links that bind you to the conditions of your life. Every time you speak, you are sending forth a command, either fastening yourself to lack or fastening yourself to abundance. Words are not idle. They are seeds, they are keys, they are carriers of unseen power. When you declare, "I am provided for, I am guided, I am prosperous," you tie yourself to the endless supply of the universe. Those words move out like messengers, arranging people, circumstances, and opportunities to fulfill their promise. But when you speak of want, when you say, "I never have enough, things never work out for me," you build a chain of connection to limitation, and that chain will faithfully draw back experiences of want. The law does not discriminate. It obeys the word that is spoken. This is why you must speak as though the good you desire is already yours. Each word of faith forges a stronger link in the chain of abundance, and soon, what you once only declared becomes the very life you live. Harmony is the secret rhythm of prosperity. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are in agreement with truth, you become like a finely tuned instrument through which abundance flows without resistance. Discord within creates discord without. A mind full of confusion invites scattered results. A heart filled with resentment attracts delay. But when you cultivate peace, when you choose forgiveness, when you walk in faith instead of fear, the outer world reflects that inner order. Prosperity is not only about money or possessions, it is about a life that unfolds with ease, where opportunities come at the right time, relationships blossom in joy, and health radiates through every cell. True prosperity is harmony expressed in every area of living. The universe responds to balance, to alignment, to trust, just as a garden thrives when the soil, the water, and the sunlight work together in perfect order. So too does your life flourish when your mind, body, and spirit are attuned to the higher law of harmony. In that state, prosperity does not need to be forced. It appears as naturally as flowers bloom in spring. Nothing that enters your life comes by accident. What the world calls chance or coincidence is simply the law of connection arranging itself in perfect order. Every meeting, every opportunity, Every seeming delay is part of a pattern woven long before you recognized it. When you hold a certain belief, you send out a vibration, and that vibration cannot help but draw to itself the matching experience. The friend you happen to meet, the book that randomly falls into your hands, the sudden idea that appears in a quiet moment, these are not accidents, but answers, responses to the signals you have already sent into the universe. Even obstacles serve a purpose, for they redirect you toward the path that holds your highest good. When you awaken to this truth, life no longer feels uncertain or unfair. Instead, you see that everything is conspiring in your favor, moving in exact harmony with the seeds you have sown. There is no wasted moment, no stray event, all is connected, and all is leading you closer to the abundance prepared for you. Gratitude is the golden thread that strengthens every connection to abundance. When you give thanks, you magnify the good already present in your life, and by the law of attraction you draw more of it to yourself. A grateful heart says to the universe, I recognize the flow, I honor the supply, I am ready for more, and the universe answers with greater blessings. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is overflowing, and in that shift, lack loses its power. Even the smallest gift, when received with sincere appreciation, opens the door to greater gifts. When you wake in the morning and give thanks for breath, for light, for another chance to live, you align yourself with the rhythm of abundance. Each word of gratitude is like a signal sent out across those invisible threads of connection, and it returns with multiplied good. Just as a child who delights in what is given is eager to be given more, so the grateful soul is constantly supplied. Gratitude is not only a response to blessings, it is the very magnet that draws them into your life. Faith is the bridge that connects the unseen with the seen, the invisible supply with the visible manifestation. It is the power that links you directly to the source of abundance, even when outer conditions whisper of lack. Faith does not depend on evidence, it creates evidence. It does not wait for proof. It brings proof into being. When you hold fast to faith, you are saying, I trust the unseen law more than I trust appearances. And in that trust, doors open, ways are made, and provision appears. Faith reaches across the gap between what is desired and what is already waiting for you in the invisible storehouse of supply. Without faith, you remain cut off from that storehouse, like a lamp unplugged from its source of power. But the moment you believe, the connection is restored, and the current of abundance begins to flow again. Faith is not blind, it sees with a higher vision, knowing that what you ask is already answered, and what you seek is already yours. With faith, the impossible becomes natural, and every need is met in perfect time. You are never separate, though the world may try to convince you otherwise. Every soul, every living thing, every drop of creation is woven together in a single fabric of life. The moment you awaken to this oneness, the struggle of separation dissolves, fear fades, competition loses meaning, and you begin to live from a place of trust and flow. To see yourself as one with the whole is to realize that nothing good can ever be withheld from you, for what belongs to life belongs also to you. Abundance is not outside of you, it is within you, connected to you, and flowing through you at all times. When you live in this truth, you no longer chase after supply as though it were distant, you rest in the knowing that you are already connected to the endless storehouse of good. Every act of kindness strengthens that awareness, every moment of love deepens the bond, every step in faith widens the channel. In this state of unity, you find that life itself supports you, guides you, and richly provides for you, because you are not apart from abundance. You are a living part of it. Abundance is not a mystery reserved for a few, it is the birthright of all who awaken to the law of connection. When we realize that every thought, every word, every act is tied to the great fabric of life, we see that nothing is wasted and nothing is lost. We hold the power to choose the links we forge, links of faith, gratitude, harmony, and love. These connections draw to us the supply, the opportunities, the relationships, and the experiences that reflect the highest good. Life ceases to be a struggle and becomes a flow, a divine rhythm where everything arrives at the right moment. To live in this awareness is to unlock the treasure house of abundance and to walk in the certainty that we are forever one with the source of all good,